Hey YouTube, it's Fluent in 1 year, and today I'm going to talk a bit about overcoming the frustration of language learning. I know that sometimes you're learning a second language and it's not working out. Like, you have no idea where you're headed, you don't know where you are, and you don't know how to move from that spot. Sometimes you're studying every day and it's just not working out, and you feel like you want to quit, you want to give up, and you want to just call it a day and move on to something else. But I have words of encouragement for you. Think about it. I am going to assume that English is your native language or the first language you learned growing up. When you were learning English, did you for once ever stop to think about what you're learning, where you're headed, and where you are? You didn't. Did you, after 3 years of speaking English, be fluent? I assume that you'd be 3 or 4 years old at that time. No, you just started learning the language at that point. So why should it be any different when learning Spanish or French or Mandarin or Russian as a second language? The difference becomes more apparent when you realize that oftentimes you're translating instead of learning. So you think of something in English and you try to learn how to say it in your target language. That doesn't always work. The best way to learn a language is to use the language to learn. What that means is that instead of reading a Spanish book in English and then translating it sentence by sentence, you read a Spanish book in Spanish. Then, whatever word you do not understand, whichever sentence, you get a mentor, even the internet, and translate it. You use a grammar book to understand the nitty-gritty behind each statement, and you move on. Over time, you will begin to learn a language much faster and much better. The fastest way to learn a language is by the language itself. When you were growing up, you never stopped for one moment and stopped speaking English with your parents, your friends, your family, or even your teacher at school. You are consistently using English to understand English, so why should it be any different with learning your target language? My friends, I put it to you. Take 1 week, and for each day in that 1 week, you are going to read a book. And it doesn't have to be a book. It can be whatever language you're learning, some form of literature in that language. And for that day, 30 minutes, you'll read a paragraph and you will try to understand what that paragraph is saying in your target language. And afterwards, you write down all the main points, all the keywords, all the new words, and you study them for another half an hour. And before you go to sleep, you reread that paragraph again and move on. After a week has passed, I guarantee that you will have learned much more in that 1 week than you would have learned in a month by just reading a grammar book. Who will accept this challenge? Let me hear in the comment sections down below. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more.